Hi everyone, welcome back to Through Alchemy. So today's reading is going to be titled as What is Your Heart Longing For? We have three piles like always from the left to right. The first pile is Yellow Agate Heart. The second pile is Prehnite Palmstone. And the third pile is Polychrome Palmstone. Pause if you need a little bit longer, pick the one which calls your name the most, and I'm going to begin with pile number one. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the Yellow Agate Heart, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to flip out a few of your cards and we're going to start off by interpreting your thumbnail picture. We have smoke and I'm going to take out one more. We have mystery. I feel like I get the energy of a hopeless romantic. I was hearing the word animosity, like something very tragic happened, something that um this is so much in correlation because smoke and mystery really just gives us that there were a lot of illusions in a previous relationship, or when it comes to your idea or your definition of love and what and how it should treat you. So the picture that you chose shows us a prism of a rainbow above the girl, and she's walking in a desert and it's all holographic. These colors are very like neonish, and I feel like when I think about neon, it's just my interpretation, but I get a lot of youthful energy. It's very vibrant, it's lively, and that's why I feel like you're somebody who is a lover at heart. I think that I'm gonna take one card from tarot. I'm taking this in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse. I think that your love language is very fiery. Your love language is very fiery, it's very passionate, it's like to die for, like I would kill for you kind of a love. That's why I feel like it's hopeless romantic. It's not a mystery to you. You know that you love really deeply, and it's not something. I genuinely feel pile number one, you should watch pile number two, because I keep hearing that, like even before I began off with your reading. But with this over here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, I feel like when your creativity or your love is not channeled in singing the song of your soul, you get very monotonous, you feel monotonous, you get very dull in life, uninspired. It's, I don't feel like it's a depressive state, but I feel like you become really lazy, and it's not because you're lazy on a productive level, but it's just because you don't know what to channel your creativity towards. So maybe right now your heart is longing to move towards finding the right person for you, creating that life for yourself. I'm hearing editorial speech. So maybe you're into writing, maybe you haven't discovered your talent when it comes to writing. There's something about graphics as well. You're a graphic designer. There's something that you're doing right now that you're close to creativity, but it's not your best. It's not your forte in a way. It's not something that really sings your soul. And this could also be when it comes to the people that you're interacting with or the kind of friends. It's just you reach a threshold capacity really quick. And that's why I see this Queen of Wands as an energy of quick temperament, but I don't see this as, the basic meaning would be to say that you're aggressive, and that's okay. Anger is not a bad emotion. You probably were very aggressive with the previous person that you were with, or just with your parents. There's sort of a rebel energy that I pick up over here, a rebellion. It's like I'm hearing revolutionary movement. So something about it is like it's really changed the dynamics within you, and the way you see love, and the way you treat yourself, and the way you want to accept love in your life, what you think you deserve. I think there is a little bit of discrepancy when it comes to what you think you deserve and what you want, and it's not coming up because there's a little bit more work. I hate to say that, of course, but it's important for you to know that it's not a mystery to you either. Either you've become very time sensitive, is what I'm hearing, or become very delicate to other people's emotions. It's like you don't give them the time enough to show themselves to you, because it's like you want somebody to be patient, and what your heart is longing for, put two and two together however it matches with your own personal story. I feel like this comes to specifically you. You are looking for a relationship, you know that you want to love again, and it's a part of you, and there's nothing wrong with it. You give me a very Libran vibe, because Libras like always go in hand. They always want a partner around. It's kind of like their personality trait. You could also be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, because this is giving me like very deep. It's like you want to love. That's plain and simple. We don't have to explain that furthermore. But I see this as somewhere where I'm hearing redemption. Like you want to, there's certain things that want to come out, and it's not helping you find that person. It's like you lack patience when it comes to another person. You want their time to open up to another person, but you don't give that time or allow the other person to open up to you, because every person also needs to come out of their comfort zone when they get along with somebody new or something like that. It's just like it's not where I'm asking you to lower your standards, but it's in a way where you don't try to be so picky about in what shape or package that love comes in. And it's a part of you. I feel a little bit sad, because it's like I touched a point that you probably didn't want to touch, or you probably didn't want me to poke. But it's not about you lowering your standards. I'm just talking about the way it comes across, or the way you perceive it to be as your first impression, the way you think it should be, the way you place your own, I'm hearing autopsy. It's like you just have a preconceived notion of what will be right for me and what won't be. And it's like that flexibility needs to come in, so that you can actually accept what you want. It's not at all to change your standards. You can still have somebody attractive, well to do, whatever cultural backgrounds and all these things, but it's like there will be variations, is what I'm saying. And I think that you have tried to manifest this a lot. You could be in your 40s or 50s, is also what I'm hearing, or early 20s. There's Taurus energy coming in over here. I'm gonna take another card. We have release. Thank you, Spirit. This gives me Pluto energy, 12th house. Again, 12th house relates with the smoke very well. It's like you just don't know what's happening right now in your life, and what your heart is craving for is to finally connect with someone. Out of all the stones, this is the only one that we have in heart shape. I'm gonna pull out a few cards from the oracle deck. Angel guides, spirits, please help me connect with pile number one's energy. What is their heart longing for? There's a lot of focus on the pink color in the background. If you can notice that, it's sort of like the hues, or it's like the sunshine, sun rays. I feel like this is more of definitely a sunset scenario, I'd imagine. And funnily, at the bottom, instead of it being red, there's pink, which really tells me that this is about the root chakra, about self-love. I'm gonna take this card upright. We have influence. Do you have bad company? Concealed and fire. I think that your past still influences you a lot, and I'm hearing no brainer, no shit. But it's like I had to say that, because it's like you think that it doesn't bother you, but it still does. Harmony. Um, I think that the person you were with um, was probably a very charismatic or a bold personality. Rather, I would say it was more argumentative between the both of you. I pick up on a lot of chemistry, which was not channeled the best way. It was sort of like the only medium for you to express your love with each other, which is not the healthiest manner, because it was not fulfilling other needs as a human. Other needs of your body is also what I'm hearing. So even though perhaps this person was um, spirit sharing a banter, like giving it to you, it's like the sexual chemistry was there, but the body was not satisfied. It's probably where you were able to release that aggression, or the ways where you could not really say it out loud. You could not say things were coming out through that sexual act, but it's like they were not completely out of love, or they were not completely based on a way where you want to connect with the other person, I would rather say. But it's more like there was more of an animalistic instinct, but there was a lack of using your voice, which you have been blessed with as a human, right? It's like you as a person, or perhaps this person, the other person in your past, because there's a lot of relation. There's a lot of correlation to the person in your past, and it's important that we talk about it so that you can put a few more points, two and two together. Is that this person was quite dominant when it came to you voicing your opinion. This person could probably shoo you away or shut you down because they are uncomfortable with their own emotions. It's like I pick up on a lot of guilt and regret. Like this person, they lack emotional maturity, but it's like they knew that they had to be more for you. And I hear vice versa as well. So perhaps you also recognize your own fault. I'm hearing fault in our stars or something like it. Like it felt destined, but it didn't work out, and you know the reasons why exactly it did not work out. So we're not going to brush over that. But I think that one thing that you're left with are crumbs of a little bit of blocked throat chakra, which doesn't allow you to voice your opinions. I think that you shy away from heart to heart conversations, like you're scared of really saying what you want to say, or like expressing out like what you really need. Like pile number one, I'm talking about your emotional needs. It's like you think it's risky to demand, or it's not even demanding, but it's like placing your criterias, like your terms and conditions, you know. It's like whenever you're going out there and purchasing something, you always have terms and conditions that you have to have a contract with. And with contract, I hear that there's a soul contract coming in, like your life partner is already been destined. I'm not getting much about that person's life path, but it's also quite frivolous. I'm hearing this person has also had a frivolous past, and it's like I think you might be around your 30s is also what I'm getting. Very strong energy, topaz color, so like a yellow color, which is all about solar plexus. I think that your person, wherever they are, they're longing for you, but they don't know that yet. So this person gives me a very masculine energy. It doesn't have to be, but it's like they're yet to tap into their femininity so that they can finally understand that they also want this. So it's not just you who's preparing for this. It's not just you who's preparing for their life partner. It's the other person as well. And I get the instance of like kissing a few frogs, but it's not like you're just gonna stumble upon this person. You know that there's karma to be undone, is what I'm hearing, to be undone. Is again, there's a lot of contracts, like you know things work according to our akashic records, right? It's like you have to release certain things before you can meet that person. It's a lot about your friendship as well. Like there's probably a few people that are quite superficial when it comes to like romantic relationships, and right now, because of your throat chakra, which is also related to your individuality, I feel like you don't feel confident enough in just placing your opinion out there. As weird as it might be, it's like sometimes you fear there's like a very strong masculine energy around you. That doesn't have to be that it's a man or a woman. It just means that this person has a very masculine approach. Even if this is a woman, you know, she is very masculine when it comes to her approach towards other men or the gender that she's interested in, and vice versa. It's like this energy is very contradictory to yours, because you're somebody that is seemingly more in the feminine energy, but this person's judgment or stereotype, their methodological steps towards life and relationships don't match up with your values. Or rather, I would say that you're at this place where you're like a clay. You've been beaten down, and no offense, but it's like you've been beaten down by your past person so much that they've left a raw canvas for you, which is actually a blessing in disguise. So right now you're looking for what really suits you, and these people who are influencing you, I was just taking a guess, it could be anything. It could also be your parents, it could also be your friends, siblings, anybody. But there's a specific person that you're very close to, which has a very different view towards love and life, especially. And that doesn't match with your idea of being a hopeless romantic. So it's about you. It's not like you have to separate, but it's like bifurcation of what you really want, because it's like you're becoming a puppet of what that other person thinks works in this life. It's coming out of their own experiences in life rather than what they also really desire, because it's like a preconceived notion over here that I have to be in my masculine energy, whoever this person is around you. It's like all about going out there, looking for the person, and when the person comes around, it's like shooing them away. Something about not letting other people in, it's something that you also pick up, and you have to release this energy. It's about drawing boundaries as to what you know is right for you. And lastly, we have love, of course. I do think that you have a lot of admirers, suitors, but it's like nothing fulfills you because you know exactly what your heart is longing for. Your heart is tapped in, okay? I see a lot of red color over here, and I'm getting that you get worried that you're not going to find the right person, or, time is running out and something like that. But it's like, this is all working out the way it had to. Your soul already knew that this is going to happen. I'm going to take this in reverse. We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. This person comes in, the person that you're longing for, literally just comes in. We have Nine of Cups in reverse. When you understand how to appreciate yourself, there's still a part of you that needs other men to validate you, or other women, because I just relatively feel like you're a feminine. It doesn't have to be gender non-specific yet again. If you're a man, you have a lot of admirers. Even if you think you don't, you do. And I think that this is all about you understanding that picking people out of loneliness or obligation, societal timings, and all that, I'm hearing flabbergasted. It's like all that nonsense is what I'm hearing. Like, I think that this is your vocabulary. Deep down, you know that this is all nonsense. And I think that there's a fight between you being in your comfort zone and being okay, being lonely, because the last person you were with made you feel so accustomed. I'm hearing um, absence makes the heart grow the fuck up rather than fonder. Um, and this is something that reminds me that you became accustomed to being alone, but it's like now when people come across, you just don't have the patience, or there's something that spirit wants you to inculcate a little bit more. It's like give people chances, and I don't mean that you have to start dating them, but it's like, why don't you try being friends, or like developing a more friendship sort of bond, where it's like, I think that you become presumptuous, and that could be another assumption on my end, right? But it's like, why don't you try to set the tone in the relationship rather than expecting the other person to set the tone, because you set it, right? You teach people how to treat you, is what I'm seeing. So pile number one, I'm gonna get a few conclusive cards for you. I think it's safe to say at this point that your heart is longing for your match. Angel Guide Spirits, please help me connect with pile number one. A win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. Thank you, Spirit. So I did speak about Libra. That really excites me. We have Taurus. Thank you. So this is about Venus, Venusian energy. And we have Aries. It's time to take action. I feel like when it comes to your dreams, need a practical plan, and emotions are running high with the super moon. This is like a full moon over here. We have all three full moons. So it's like your emotions run really high. And when it comes to your self-worth, there's a part of you, like there's a seed planted within that you are not doing something right if you haven't found the right person. And I want to let you know that it's not true. It's like I have to really, really affirm that to you, pile number one, that there is somebody out there for you. If there's anything you want to take away from this, is trust your path, because it's leading you towards that person. And I feel like this person is going to be a good influence on you. This person is going to hear you out. This person is almost going to be obsessed with you, but in a good way. And I feel like you like that. You like the fact that this person is not going to leave mystery. This person is not, it's like this person is not going to let you go. This person is going to take your dreams also in consideration. This person is, I feel like this person is going to come around and trigger a few parts of you, because it's just life, right? You're not always completely healed, but I feel like it's always going to be a win-win outcome. Like this person is going to accommodate, adjust to your needs, and so are you going to do that, because I feel like you're a very Cancerian energy. You're very soft, On the contrary, you actually tend to keep other people's emotions or their needs before yours, and this person is going to be a good influence where they're going to be like, you don't have to do so much. This is gonna be a fairy tale that you've been waiting for. And I think that in the meantime, it's like a trial. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that, I'm not getting a timeline. It's just I'm getting the genuinity and, the affirmation that there is somebody out there who's also getting prepared for you. But they just corrected me, and they're like, the divine is preparing that person for you, and so are you getting prepared for that person, right? Because they also deserve the best as much as you do. And I just see this as somewhere where you kind of have to put yourself out there when it comes to emotional bonding with another person. I know it brings out a lot of anxiety, but it's like something that you have to go through. You have to have that trial and error phase before you meet this person. Just become a little bit flexible with that emotional component again in your life, right? So, pile number one. I just wanted to conclude this reading, but they're not letting me go. So there's probably something else. Let's see, what else do we have. I'm gonna take this card in reverse. We have upheaval in reverse. All right, they're saying that's enough. And we have stillness and reincarnation. Thank you, Spirit. So this is exactly what I've been speaking about. This is like stillness in reverse, and we have evolution underneath the deck, and then we have moon. So Cancerian energy. I feel like relatively, you probably do things when you're feeling a lot of emotions, and one of the advices that I get is that, again, the reincarnation card just really puts a sort of stamp of approval that this is true, this is all happening in its own timing. And I know it's easier said than done, that don't worry, but it's just the path. So like, relinquish the control and you'll be much more at ease. And I feel like filtering out other people's opinion as to what it comes to your love life is very, very important for you, and it's a part of your karma. Understanding that maybe, other people's emotions and the way they think things have to be is something that is a part of your karma, because it comes right underneath influence. And this is something that you have to go through with the reincarnation. It's like, I think other people have a more logical approach, and you can't really abide to that. This is also a part of your karma. So I see that with the win-win outcome is the forecast, and with the upheaval in reverse and the stillness in reverse. I feel like this situation is definitely teaching you something, and they're not telling me exactly what. It's like, I think it's very personalized according to your own journeys, but I can definitely conclude this on the fact that it's a lot about fighting other people's approvals. It's about, in a way, in a more spiritual denominator, this is you fighting the matrix and doing your own, fulfilling your own karma as a light worker. All right, pal number one, I'm going to leave it here. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do the like button, subscribe for more with the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information to book a personal reading is given down below, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello, pal number two. If you chose the Prehnite palm stone, this is going to be your reading. So I'm gonna flip out a card. We have Phoenix Rising. 32 reduces to 5. And the image that you chose. I'm gonna take out another card. We have Anguish in reverse. We have Responsibility. Again, you could be here from pile number one, but there is an underlying tone of Cancerian energy, the crab factor, where it's like you like to stay hidden in your shell. And I think that I'm hearing relinquish control. I feel like a lot of it, what your heart is longing for, is to be seen, heard, treated like it deserves to be. And I think that this has been an ongoing journey of healing yourself, moving forward through a lot of painful karmic lessons, painful karmic soulmates. For a few of you, you've also had a twin flame that has been a very bumpy ride, is what I'm hearing. And you can look at the Phoenix Rising card. It's almost giving like she's reading a book and she's doing some sort of magic. I think this has brought you closer to your soul with all the magic that I see over here, but there's a little bit of pain, and that pain seems like a little bit of spiteful, vengeful energy to me over here. That doesn't have to be, but there's a part of you deep inside that you know is very hot, is very like, people have cornered me out. Like, I would like to get back at them, even if it means in the smallest sense where you just want them to see you happy and suffer about it or something like that. I feel like that is an okay part of you, but it's also where you still want, or your worth is still attached to those previous people looking at you being happy and then sort of like being like, oh my god, I shot myself in the foot. You don't need that validation to know that they shot themselves in the foot. That is something that is for you. You don't need to have another partner to rub it in their face to make them realize what they lost. It's almost like you're still struggling with understanding what do you truly deserve, right? Because it's like you want to rub that in their face because you really poured your heart out. But it's like what your heart is longing for is a little bit of, and this might hurt, but feel free to not take it if you don't want to. But it's like your heart requires a little bit, or it's longing for a little bit of accountability on your end, where it's like, I put myself in that situation. It's like you don't want to accept that you didn't know as much as you thought in that moment. And I want to be really polite with this because it's a sensitive issue, right? It's like me telling you that, oh my god, people treated you badly because you didn't know how to treat yourself. But it's not a way where they get the hall pass to mistreat you or misbehave with you, right? I'm just saying in a sense where you wouldn't have allowed it if you actually knew what you deserved, is all I'm trying to frame over here. All right, I'm gonna flip another card. We have the Autumn. So we are seeing that with the Autumn card. It's sort of like climax. I'm hearing Forest Drum, so it's about a marathon, right? I spoke about that. Thank you, Spirit. So it's like karmic lessons, and there's such a camaraderie between you and your spirit guides. You don't even realize that. It's like they never want you to suffer, but it's like they see you as a warrior deep inside, and even though your heart knows it, it's like it needs rest right now. I'm hearing request. It's like you have pleaded, you have really stooped down, you have begged, and it's like your heart wants you to realize that yes, you are not that person. You're not going to allow that. You have understood a little bit, but there's a little bit of you which is angry with itself. What your heart is longing for is understanding, compassion. It's like those experiences that have led you to this higher consciousness with the anguish in reverse, which basically means like a, I'm hearing like a rite of passage, like your birthright to receive the love that you give and to be treated kindly, to be respected, to be understood, to be loved without expectations, without molding you into another person that is easier for them to love, right? I feel like a lot of controlling factor over here. And I see that with the Autumn. It's really just giving me this energy where it's like you've been shedding a lot, and this seems like a winter phase that has been going on, right? There's like goal pellets is what I'm seeing. It's like breadcrumbing has been a major part of your life, where it's like people just give you a little bit, they throw a bone. And again, it's not at all to sound derogatory, but it's just I see this harsh truth of your life where it's like you did not understand, and it's because of course, poor role models in your childhood, and that's how they started off. But it's all which I see as, with responsibility. It's about having accountability for your pain. It's about where you saw the red flags, and it's just embedded within your psyche that this can improve or this will change because you're trying to change your childhood in a way. And I hear from spirit that you and I know that's true. If you journal, or if you try to journal, you will find out that the person that you stick around, or you stuck around, or the people that you stick around longer than you should, is because you're trying to change a part of your childhood so that your inner child feels worthy as what your parents did not do for you. So it's all about understanding that your heart is not longing anybody else as of now. Your heart is really longing for your own compassion, for you to understand that it's still in the winter phase, it's still shedding, it's autumn, it's not even winters yet. It's like a lot of heated moments that have passed by, and it's like you're still fighting tooth and nail is what I'm picking up over here. But it's like you can see that she has like a jeweled sort of design, bejeweled sort of like a chest area, which really gives me that that is still the gold within you. It's like your heart wants to remind you that, I am still the prize over here. And with the anguish in reverse, which gives me this beautiful words of like a rite of passage, just like your birthright. Your heart wants you to understand it's your birthright. And even in the picture that we have in the thumbnail, it's really depicting this sort of imitating light, and this woman is looking at you, and she's trying to shy away from the light behind her, which really gives me that there's clarity coming in the winter season for you, which is just another word for the hibernation hermit mode. It's like it's okay to take your time, is what I'm hearing. It's okay to take your time. It's like you've been beaten down, but it's still okay to look for hope. I see this as somewhere where there's light at the end of the tunnel with the autumn as well, but it's like you're going, it's dark, you don't know where you're going, but there's still like, your spirit guides helping you, holding your hand and taking you through this awakening. I feel like relatively it might be more of a dark night of the soul that you've been going through. um and for a few of you, this has been something that I'm speaking about in your past. This has been there. It's just a confirmation what you're arriving at. And for a few of you, if you feel like you're entering this, however it fits, it's just the outcome, like what lies ahead or on the other side of this mountain or at the top of the mountain. Is I see a lot of clarity where there's not just purification, but there's this place where you can see in the image, in the thumbnail picture, it's like this woman, she's wearing a white cape, which just feels like bland to me. It I feel like it doesn't represent you when I keep hearing the word rite of passage. It's like um you're not supposed to hide, and I think that because you probably have a trauma response to not gather too much attention because you don't want to call in trouble and yada yada yada, there's like a whole domino effect that has probably told you that to hide is to keep yourself safe. I pick up on domestic violence or sexual abuse or molestation as well. And truly my heart goes out to you, but it's like it's not in a way where I'm saying that was okay or people mistreated you, that's okay, or those things happened to you, that is really, really bad. But it's like these things have taught you something relatively, how to protect yourself. And I feel like this cape after the winter, this white cape that she's wearing, of hiding herself, trying to be smaller, this is gonna come off because just keep getting like these metaphors that the sun or the rays are really gonna tear through it apart. It's like the clarity that you're going to keep coming into is going to make you such a bold person within yourself that you're not going to want to hide yourself. You're going to become a conqueror of your circumstances rather than somebody that is succumbed by their life circumstances, like basically their trauma. H guys, spirits, please help me connect with pile number 2. There's something about people that used to take care of you. They used to call themselves responsible, but they used to really like mold you. Or it's like if your parents used to provide for you, it used to be under their conditions that I'm providing for you, so I have a certain amount of control over your life decisions or your autonomy or sovereignty in your life. I'm taking this in reverse. We have the Chariot, Cancerian energy. Thank you, Spirit. So that's what we spoke about in the beginning. So that's the confirmation that, with all the anguish that we see over here, it's all about your give and receive, right? It's like you used to put other people's needs because that other people's needs before yours, because that was what you were taught, right? I'm taking this in reverse as well. We have the Tower in reverse, Scorpionic energy. Bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. It's like I'm hearing that song in the name of love, and I feel like a lot of people have taught you what it should be like in the name of love, like how you're supposed to behave, not rock the boat, keep yourself hidden, keep your mouth shut. It doesn't have to be that you're a man or a woman, but this is more like people kept you more in a cage. It's this is what your heart is longing for. It's like now that you're coming out of this place where you used to probably there's just a lot of begging people to stay in your life, even if it's not done literally like that, but energetically you're so obsessed with them because they represent this idea or whatever you think that love is. And now that things are changing, it's like a part of you is still scared to just voice out your opinion. But this is what spirit wants to let you know, that your heart is longing for you to just begin. I'm not saying that you have to make drastic changes. I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm not saying that you're not trying. That is not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying, out of everything, you deserve so much more love from yourself. Out of everything, you deserve to forgive yourself for how much you have had to come through, and to not judge yourself or shame yourself upon the fact that you had to beg other people or you just had to plead them to do things so that you could survive in the moment when you didn't know any better. I just want you to forgive yourself for knowing how to survive in the moment. All right, I'm gonna pull out a few more cards. It's just about releasing that I'm hearing surprise. Maybe I said surprise for something. I don't remember. I'm gonna take this in reverse. We have the Five of Wands and the Star. Wow. So we have Aquarian energy. We have the Ten of Wands and Ace of Cups. I'm going to take Ace of Cups in reverse, and I'm going to take out some other random card in reverse. We have the Magus. So this is like the Magician. This is about you thinking that you need to depend on other people, which is completely okay. As a part of human life, we need interdependence. But that's dangerous when it becomes codependency, right? I'm going to take a random Moonology card, a time to give rather than take. I feel it's strong energy, like this is in reverse. Ain't no way this is upright, because I feel like you've given so much and you've not received that. And the anguish that resides within you, which is like a roaring lion. You know how there's a meme where it's like people with anger issues are yelling and like doing all that fuss about, and the person with the real anger issue is like sitting quiet because they're like a ticking bomb. This is what it gives me. You have so much pent up emotion and like sort of like this volatile hatred or just aggression, which is okay. I'm not saying it's okay to act upon it. I'm just saying it's okay to have it there, to feel it there. With the Virgo over here, it's like things did not go as it planned out, or they were planned out in your head. And I feel like with the again the um I lost my train of thought. Gemini and Virgo with the Magician over here, Virgo twice over here, 6,000 RG. This is about, you know, a lot of things that have happened like in a recurrent stance with you, and it's like now you're trying to pour it to yourself, and this is all that your heart is asking you for. I know it seems tedious, but it's just a simple request. Please pour into me. Stop fighting with me. Stop telling me that I'm a bad person. I know the voice inside our head is very loud, but it's not louder than who I am meant to be. So this situation really gives me that you're still walking on a path to forgive yourself, and this is something that you often don't like to look at, or sort of ponder upon or feel these emotions, like sitting naked with yourself, like the Star card with the Aquarian. It's because it scares you. Of course it's very scary, because it reminds you of the ways that you have allowed other people to treat you, because you're not the same person anymore. But it's a very important part to accept the person you have always been, right? So pile number 2, I'm going to pull out a few advice cards for you to conclude this reading. Angel God, spirits, please help me connect with pile number 2. What do they need to hear? Phenomena. I'm taking this in reverse. The duality of life. I'm going to take this in reverse as well. Fertility, Empress energy. We have transient and plants. See, I see this as energy, a cycle of life, and this can pinch a little bit, because you're just gonna be like, oh my god, she doesn't know what I've been through. But it's a part of life, and the more that you try to accept it, so I'm gonna tell you a philosophy which is like, sometimes we just can't accept where life has landed, where our life has landed. And that would also be a rite of passage, because it's your birthright as a soul to go through all of these things, to understand, to to fall back 7 times and get up 8 times, and then again that cycle continues. And as much as painful it can be, it's just that you know deep down that this is the only way out. The only way to go is to go within. And with the plants and the fertility over here, it's so interesting because there's like a whole life of abundance within you which you are hiding under that cape. And it's like right now it's not accessible to you because you refuse to look at the parts of you which made you who you are today, the parts of you which got watered down, which got you to this light attribute. These are all parts of you. If you look at the transient cycle over here, the moon cycle, this literally represents the dark and the light attributes. It's like you have to go through the darkness to come back to your lighter attribute, right? So this is what I'm going to leave it at, pile number 2. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information to book a personal reading is given down below, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Polychrome palm stone, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to begin off by interpreting your thumbnail image. For some reason, I sense that the sort of mirror thing, I don't know if it's a crystal, but it looked like a phone. And it seemed like aimless, mindless scrolling on the internet or something like that, and there's the reflection coming out of it. Funnily, her hair is actually submerged in a water bath, a tub or something like that, and it seems like she's relaxing. um Now that I look closely, it looks like she's wearing ethnic wear. I feel like my first assumption is that she's holding a mirror, which is sort of reflecting back the sun rays as rainbows, but they're not like a rainbow going through the forest. It's just like a reflection. There are small reflections. It's like your heart is finding itself or is craving that adventure to find itself in other people. Or it's like, you know, that sort of reference where sometimes you don't really travel because you're, and I know this can be very subjective, but it's my own opinion, which I'm going to use as a metaphor. It's like sometimes you want to travel because you want to find yourself. You think that you're going to find yourself in other places, and it's almost like your soul is taking you there because there's certain parts of yourself that you're meant to experience over there, which are going to remind you about yourself or just going to lead you somewhere, right? It's a part of fate, but it's also a part where you think that traveling is what I want. But it's like looking at the world, experiencing yourself, seeing yourself in different adaptation, you know, scenarios and facilities of life. It's like that makes you a little bit more not just rejuvenated but acquainted with yourself. And that is what I see over here. It's almost like you are trying to find yourself. Your heart is looking, and this is very lively energy. I don't see it as somebody that's going through a breakup or something like that. It just feels like you're at a place in your life where you're just looking to find yourself, where people come along because you've learned the ebb and flow of life, relationships especially. There's a connotation of, you know, love, of course, with what your heart is longing for. It's the heart chakra. It's all about love. You know, you can't really extract the love component from your heart. So I feel like you understand the ebb and flow of relationships, and right now it's all about I just heard this few of you, or majority of you, have just come out of a phase of a depressive episode. Is something that lasted for a few months or has been going on. I don't feel like you're completely out of it, or you're just feeling a little bit more upbeat. There's a lot of purging, there's a lot of clearance that you have done, which spirit is like, I get the image of applauding. Like they're just really happy that have you have earned this level of happiness, stature, confidence, facility. I keep getting the word facility. It's like the universe wants to facilitate, sponsor your dreams, because you have kind of, it's not that you have proven yourself, you never had to prove yourself, but it's in a way where you have taken yourself more seriously, or it's the way that you favor yourself today at this moment when you watch this. It's just, this is timeless, and I feel like this reality of yours is who you are. You know, often we think about like, I want to manifest this and that, and that's why there's a reason why we don't say I want, we say I am, because you get manifestations based on what you think what you are, not what you think you are. I slipped a little bit of words, but you get the idea, right? It's about, it's not about what you're desiring, it's about who you are right now is what you're going to receive. And that's why we keep walking towards becoming that person, because we're closing off that gap between what we want and who you are right now, which literally determines what we're calling in our life. So I think that there's more of a free flowing energy where it's like, you know what, things are just happening and they're just going to keep happening, and all I can do is just experience and find myself. There's a zest for life, but it's not like you're forcing yourself to go somewhere. And I mean, there could be a factor of you where you're a traveler, a vagabond, a nomad. I feel an affirmative energy on a nomad. You know, nomads are people that just carry their small backpack and they go from place to place, and they live in the moment. It's like they're just looking for that one moment fixature, and they're not really looking at what's going to happen at the end of the day. It's like it's very moment to moment, and I feel like your life and your heart is longing for these moment to moment experiences rather than something that's more fixated. I'm not taking away from the fact that you might be a commitment person, you're a hopeless romantic. I'm going to flip a card. We have blood. This is number 37, and I'm going to take out this one. I'm going to take this upright spirit, upright reverse. We have attachment. All right, they're saying all right, that's enough right now. I am seeing that, you know, the blood card is often related, I mean, it's more presumptuously related with your body, mind, spirit coordination, the well-being of your heart and body, honoring your feelings. So I feel like this is a lot about you. It's like you were somebody that, you know, now that you understand the ebb and flow, it's like your heart wants more freedom. Your heart doesn't want to cling on to people. It doesn't want to love people for a momentary relapse, is what I'm hearing. Like, it doesn't want to love out of codependency or neediness. Your heart wants to experience love in different shapes and forms. And I feel like the more that your heart experiences like this heartbreak, again, there's a lot of ebb and flow. And I feel like I could not talk about these things if a person was not quite enlightened. It's like this would pinch at a person who's still struggling with certain wounds. It's not at all to depreciate or, you know, undermine other people's abilities. We were always there where they are right now, but I feel like this is in comparison with somebody who understands the ebb and flow, where there is, you know, the need to feel pain to truly understand a moment of happiness. And this is what your heart wants more. It's like I don't want to be more fearful of letting somebody in anymore, because I feel like that is the freedom of love and life, and it's a gift of life where we can really love a lot of people. It's like I'm hearing that I don't remember if it was I don't remember the actor's name who said that to Julia Roberts, this old guy, the co-star, and he goes like, you are so consumed by this past person, and if you could only just get out of your own head or something like that. He says you have the capacity to love the whole world. And this is what I see over here. It's like the blood, it reminds me of the oneness, but there's sort of this ruby, or it's not even ruby, I would actually proclaim it to be like amethyst on a rose. And this is sort of like giving me the blooming, which has already happened because of a phase that you went through, where it's like you released yourself from attachment, or your attachment to a person. It's like this person in your past was causing you a lot of suffering. They were not good for you, and they were more importantly amplifying your codependencies rather than soothing it or giving you the space to be the person you want to be. I'm also hearing that this person used to control your dressing or something like that. Like, they were very, very I hate to say it, but they were a very boring personality, and they just couldn't stand your light, is also what I hear. I'm gonna take this upright. You're very close to achieving your goal. I want to let you know that this person in your past was quite shallow. They just couldn't stand your light. That's all I want to say. Energy is gaining momentum and emotions are running high. This was in pile number 1. You might want to watch that, but this just gives me the energy that this person, whoever they were, I'm going to take this card in the reverse. This person was quite spiteful. Like, they just it's like, you know, why I see this resonates a little bit with pile number 1 is because that person used to shut you down. It's like they used to shut you down. This was also in pile number 1. Your dreams need a practical plan. Emotions are running high. You are good enough. Don't let pride get in your way. Leo, Virgo, Taurus. Very strong signs, but one of the things that sticks out is Virgo energy over here. Again, routine, day to day. It's like this person was very monotonous, very stuck. Could be an earth sign. Just very fixed in their own ways, would not at all accommodate with another person's wants or needs. And I feel like this person really affected your physical body. You might be going through a little bit, and I want to remind you that all things in life, whether they're at flourishing level or they're at a depreciating level, is all a part of your karma. So if you're going through something physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, it's all part of your karma. There's nothing that you can do about it. It's the best way. I feel like just release control. Your heart wants to release control. And yeah, I'm going to clarify this card. You're very close to achieving your goal, but there's something else that wants to come out. Angel guys, spirits, please help me connect with pile number 3. I'm going to take this card in reverse. We have patience. I heard aha, like your spirit guides are like aha. And we have vulnerability and renewal in reverse. I'm gonna take renewal in reverse, and I'm definitely gonna take vulnerability because that speaks a lot. We have anguish over here. You might be watching all piles. We have moon, reincarnation, accomplishment. Maybe you attracted a few people that were the same energy that you didn't want, but I feel like this is an elevation. What your heart wants to let you know is what I'm hearing is it's such a brave moment to say that, because it's like it's saying that it was craving something that you're giving it right now. It's almost like the respect, the way that you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable with yourself. It's like a very proud moment because you're allowing yourself to be the most rawest, free flowing part of yourself. It's like I'm seeing a river. It's like it started off as a pond, it merged into a river, now it's going in the ocean, and it's like your depths are increasing. That's what this fluid of blood is representing to me. It's like a lot of things that you have been holding on. I'm hearing the baggage that was not yours, again with the nomad reference. There's so many things that are connecting. I love it. Thank you, spirit. But it's like I'm gonna take this card upright. It's upright, right? Relationship. Thank you, spirit. So I'm gonna pull out a random card from the cosmic slumber. Upright. Temperance, Sagittarius energy. How do we clarify the gibbous moon? Reverse, we have Princess of Cups, Page of Cups in reverse. I think that your time or your heart is longing for, which is being granted, is what I see as an accumulation. Okay, I think that you're quite in touch with what you want, and I think that you don't speak about it very often, or when you do, it's like with a lot of patience, with a lot of thought, with the patience and the temperance over here. There's a dualistic energy where sometimes you're like, your heart is requiring a little bit more time with itself, right? Because it's purging through a lot of generational patterns, and this vulnerability is the only card that comes over here adjacent to relationship and renewal. It's like you're still stepping into it. I'm not saying, I'm not taking away from your hard work. It's like you have been very practical about what you want, and you're not letting yourself get in your way. I think that there's a presumptuous sort of like analysis over here that I know what I'm doing, but it's like you have a good rapport with the divine. You fluctuate in and out with your intuition, but I feel like it's a part of life because you're actually dealing with a lot of things. Something about the vulnerability card, this gives me like a mask, a yellow mask, which is a lot about, you know, the card that we have over here. Don't let pride get in your way, Leo. This is sort of giving me like you're wanting to take your mask off when it comes to other people. Wow, we have expect powerful change. I was about to say full change. So it's like a lot of things that are new. It's like your shadow attribute is really making itself known, and what lies underneath is not just this beautiful strength with the totem of lion, but the femininity over here. This gives me like Empress energy, especially because we have Virgo. We did have Taurus over here. Yeah, we have Taurus over here in the same green color. These are just like really nice cards to get, because the more that I channel deep into it, it's like very clear that this has not been the easiest, but it's something that you're very close to, because you're very close to achieving your goal. So it's like a renewal that is coming through. Is like you have always believed in love, but there's still a part of you at the back of your brain is always like you're not worthy of it because of the way that you've been treated in the past. Especially maybe the idea of commitment makes you a little bit like suffocated, and I feel like it's because of your experience with love, because you have called in people and felt safe with people who actually say more than they need to or control you more than they should. And I think that now that you're understanding how to take care of yourself, because there was a dynamic of toxic masculinity within yourself, which you were attracting as toxic femininity outside, you know, the manipulation, the controlling, because those people were more insecure of your light. It's like now that you're healing with your own masculine energy, this is helping you come in control of your life. And I feel like a healthy control where there's, I'm hearing sophistication, there's coordination with yourself, there's more feminine and masculine with the woman and the lion over here. There's this primal instinct of masculine energy where it's like, I want to go out and do things. But there's this femininity that allows your spirituality to wreak itself, to wreak itself and be out there and be like, I'm here. That's why I feel like the blood over here is bleeding in a metaphorical sense. It's like your heart is really bleeding itself, and in the goodest manner, in the best manner, where it's like, I'm here. I'm here and I'm just here is what I see. All right. So I'm going to flip out the rest of your cards. We have a sexual arts. I feel guided to take this in reverse. We're going to see how that plays out. We have 33, it's a master number, and we have abundance in reverse. I'm going to take abundance upright actually. So there's a lot of free-flowing coordination. I'm not going to lie in this reading. I'm going to pull out another Moonology card. I feel like there's a lot of things happening because I've pulled out like a lot of cards specifically for pile number 3. But I keep hearing from Spirit that I appreciate your willpower. I appreciate your strength and your endurance. You know that, even if you look at the thumbnail picture, it's like the girl, she is damp in water, but then she's also not completely soaked, and she's looking at her reflection. It's like a good part of her which is relaxing in the masculinity but also soaking up the femininity. I'm going to take this in reverse. We have take the time to breathe out. I think that you are still a little bit of a workaholic, perhaps not the right word, but you take a lot of worry. Your hard work is paying off, Capricorn. Luck is on your side, Sagittarius, yet again. So they're telling me that you work really hard, and then there's again the card of a time to give rather than take. This was in pile number 2, work through your fierce Scorpio energy. I really do feel like you can watch all piles and give you a lot of insight, but make this your highlight, because it's like that's going to remind you of your past and give you a little bit more insight as to how to work through those things or residual or debris of it. But I feel like when it comes down to all of this with take a time to breathe out, it's like your heart wants a little bit more time. Pile number 2. So I'm going to pull out one last card as an advice for you. Angel Guide Spirits, please help me connect with pile number 3. What's their advice for them? What is their heart longing for, or whatever wants to come through? I'm gonna take this one upright, star. I'm gonna take this reverse, 5 of wands. I'm gonna take this in reverse, 3 of swords reverse. The advice is that you're healing. Okay, stop fighting with yourself. We have Aquarian energy. You're really good as to how to bifurcate, dissect. In a way, I'm hearing dissect. I'm seeing the image of an insect. I feel like you're really good at renewing yourself, the phoenix rising. And with the sexual arts over here, like you want to express, your self-expression is coming alive the more that you remain patient with yourself. It's not anybody. It's like whenever your emotions make themselves known, especially when it's anxiety or pain or heartbreak from the past, don't fight with yourself. Don't try to run away from it. You know you are your best friend. Keep doing that for yourself. Alright, pile number 3, I'm going to leave it here. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information for personal readings is given down below, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye!